Hey everyone, thanks for turning into the Murder Files. I'm your host, Buffy Gunner. Murder File 8 will be covering the murder of Lauren Juma, along with our 11 featured missing black men. Hey everyone, welcome back, welcome back. Now I know I haven't recorded in a while. I'm sorry, but I was really going back and forth on if I wanted to cover this story or not. The reason why is because of her age. She's still a minor and the type of story it is. However, I decided to go ahead and do it because I am sick of seeing this storyline pop up because of you mothers trusting everybody with your kids, trusting your men with your kids. Your man is for you, not for your child. But let's go ahead and hop into the story. So today's story is about Lauren Juma. She was a 16-year-old girl who lived in Humble, Texas with her mom. I believe her sister lived there too, and her mom's boyfriend. Now, when this story first popped up, I was like, oh my God, because I already knew. Well, let me go ahead and read you the first article that I put on my website on Lauren Juma. It says a 16-year-old girl was shot and killed inside her home after she was reportedly held captive inside her Humble, Texas home by her mother's boyfriend, according to deputies with the Harris County Sheriff's Office. It happened early Friday, which was, let me give me a second to find that date for you. This article I wrote on the 29th of April. Okay, Friday. So this happened that this article I wrote the date of. All right, so it happened early Friday in a 2400 block of Canton Trace Lane in Humble. The father of the 16-year-old identified her as Lauren Juma. According to HCSO investigator Sergeant Wilford Harris, County P Precinct 4 constable deputies responded to a weapons disturbance call around 1:04 a.m. after a woman who was Lauren's older sister called 911 and told dispatchers that Lauren was held captive at gunpoint inside her home by her mother's boyfriend. When Precinct 4 deputies arrived, they heard one gunshot from the inside of the residence, followed by screaming and a second gunshot. Immediately after, a man who appeared to be the boyfriend exited the home and faced deputies, Sergeant Wilford said. The man, who was later identified as a 60-year-old Dan Brisbane, was later taken into custody. HCSO deputies entered the home and found Lauren shot multiple times inside. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, when I shared this with my page, everybody went crazy because everybody already knew. Everybody already knew. Let me go ahead and go to the comments and read y'all some of these comments so you guys can see, hear what we already saw without being told first. One of my followers, Nikki Austin, said he probably was molesting her or tried. Lock the mammy up too. Keep moving. These weird men in with y'all kids because y'all don't want to do y'all jobs. Someone else said it was probably molestation. That was Stephanie Cordova. Excuse me. Kevin Street said, I don't think she ever liked him and for a good reason. And the last comment I'm going to read by David Arredondo. I hope Texas will expedite the process of finding this man guilty and giving him the death penalty quickly. Touche, David, touche. Now that I'm done with those comments, I'm going to go ahead and read the next article that came out and that gave really all the details. This article came out May 30th. It was an update. I'm going to go ahead and read it from my website. Give me one second so it can go ahead and come up. All right, so the title of this article is Texas judge set bond at 1 million for man who allegedly murdered girlfriend's 16-year-old daughter. A 16-year-old girl was shot and killed inside her humble Texas home early Friday morning, and her mother's boyfriend has been charged with her murder. 60-year-old Van Henry Brisbane has been charged with murder. He has yet to appear in court, but his bond was set to 1 million. 16-year-old Lauren Juma, the victim, is said to have her whole life in front of her. The teen had just made the NIMS high school cheerleading team and had dreams of joining her older sister in the U.S. Air Force after graduation. But now her family is devastated. The tragic series of events began Friday morning when Juma FaceTimed her mother and one of her older sisters. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and she just said he was really being weird and wanted me to come pick her up, said Kersaya Harmon, Laura's 19-year-old sister. That's what I did. But Harmon would never get to see her sister alive again. By the time I got there, the police was already out there searching around the house, Harmon said, tears welling up. I was there about 3 minutes before I heard two gunshots go off, and I ran towards the house. According to court documents, Lauren told her mom, Lori Young, in her FaceTime call that Brisbane was standing outside her room in the dark and wanted her mother to tell him to get out, which she did. Lauren then screamed, Mom, he has a gun, court records say. Then the call ended. Young, who was at work, Young, who was at a work training program in Austin, rushed back to the home she shared with Brisbane and her daughter for 3 years. She was 16. She just joined the cheerleading team, recalled the devastated mother. She had a bright future ahead of her, and she was going to the U.S. Air Force when she graduated. Family members who met Brisbane over the past few years said outwardly that he seemed friendly and had no problems. Harmon said Brisbane had been weird before. Investigators with the Harris County Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit have not released a possible motive. Brisbane is scheduled to be back in court Monday. This morning, the district was notified of the death of our NIMS high school student who passed away early Friday morning. We are deeply saddened to hear of her passing. Her community mourns her passing. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family, loved ones, and friends during this difficult time. Counselors and district crisis teams have been mobilized to respond to this tragic event and will be available to students and staff during this difficult time. That was the article from the 30th. Now, May 2nd, when this article came out, this one is titled Disturbing New Details Released in Murder of 16-Year-Old Texas Girl. I'm going to go ahead and skip the first line because we already know the first line is just basically telling you what's going on in the story. 60-year-old Van Brisbane is charged with murder in the death of 16-year-old Lauren Juma, a sophomore at NIMS High School. He is being held on a 1 million bond in the Harris County Jail. However, the judge increased the bond to 2 million after Monday's hearing. More details were revealed over the weekend about what happened on Friday morning when the teen was shot and killed at a home in the block of the 204 block of Canton Trace near FM 1960 and Lee Road. This all started at 1 a.m. when the Harris County Precinct 4 deputy constables responded to a weapons disturbance when Lauren's sister called and said her mother's boyfriend was holding her 16-year-old sister captive. Let's go ahead and. When deputies arrived, they said they heard a gunshot and then screaming, investigators said. The deputies then heard a second shot shortly after. Deputies said the 60-year-old suspect came out the home and told them, do what you have to do. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Do what you have to do. Was he looking to be shot on sight? Like, I'm not really understanding. Do you looking to be arrested? Anyways, Prosecutors told a probable cause court judge that police found the 16-year-old girl with her pants down. Investigators said when Brisbane walked out of the home in Humble where she was killed, they saw him pulling up his pants. Lauren's mom and sister, who weren't home at the time, claimed they both spoke to her on the phone before her murder. Investigators said the mother of the victim was out of town at work when the incident happened, but has since returned. Her mother says she doesn't understand how this happened. She'd been in a relationship with the suspect for 5 years. On Friday evening, friends and family came together to remember the NIPS high school sophomore. She had just joined the cheer squad prior to her death. I am so sorry that this happened to this lady, this young girl, Lauren. When I look at her picture, honestly, it doesn't seem like she was happy. What I feel like, and this is just speculation, I'm not saying that this is really what happened. I feel like he been molesting her. Think about it. He been with her mama for 5 years. He been living with them for 3 years. Now, one of my friends, I was talking to her about it, and she was like, "No, but she said he was acting weird." Yeah, he was probably acting weird. It was probably the first time he came up to her room with a gun. And that's probably what made her actually say something that time. We all know that rape victims don't usually report it right away. I don't know how many times she have been left with this man, but when I seen his picture, I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker is a predator." It's written all over his face. I don't see how she didn't see it. I don't see what the fuck she's seen in him, anyways. But ladies, we have to pay attention to our little girls, our daughters. You can't just be leaving your daughters around these grown men that's for you. The main reason why is because your daughter is a mini version of you. So if your man likes you and he's a weird one like him, he probably actually likes your daughter more. Why? Because she's younger. I'm not saying that you're an old person if you're listening, because I'm almost 40 myself. However, these are things you have to think about. Um, whew. Also, I just don't understand, like, if her dad lived nearby and you were going out of town for work, why wasn't she at her dad's house? Why was she left with a boyfriend? I just, my mom, when I was a teenager and growing up, my mom never left me home with her boyfriend or nothing. And if I go to family member's house and there's men that live there, best believe my mom talks to me, asks me if anything happened. I've never had anything happen to me by anyone, but my mom used to ask me questions, and she didn't take any chances. Um, Now my little brother's dad did live with us, but anytime she left, I was right with her. She didn't leave me with him. Um, and I can definitely say he never tried to come in my room at night. Um, but I just think that this could have been avoided. This could have been went a whole totally different way. I really hope that she wasn't molested this entire time that he has been there. But I think he was, because in another article it said that he has acted weird before. So what does that mean to you? And why does everybody think it's okay to just leave your teenage daughters with random men? Even your little girls, you don't leave them with random men. But those are my thoughts. That was a story. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys listen to a few news clips, especially the one from his court date. And we're going to come back with the featured missing person story. And remember, this time around, we're doing 11 missing persons instead of just one. So go ahead and listen to these news clippings, and I'll be back after the break.
Van Henry Brisbane, he waived court. He's accused of the first-degree felony offense of murder probable cause exists in his case. His case is pending in the 174th District Court with Judge Hazel Jones. Ms. Bradbury?
Yes, Your Honor. The state requests a $2 million bond amount in this case. We're opposed to a PR bond. Under 1703, the state notes the defendant shot and killed his stepdaughter, who is 16 years old, and who was found with her pants around her knees, deceased. When police arrived, and the defendant's pants were also down, the state requests the following bond conditions. No contact with Karika Harmon. No contact with Lori Young. No contact with any of the decedent's family members, personally or through a third party. No contact with 20407 Canton Trace Trail in Humble, Texas. No weapons or firearms, no drugs or alcohol, random urinalysis, GPS monitoring, 24-hour house arrest. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bradbury. Ms. Allen, on behalf of Mr. Brisbane.
Yes, Your Honor. We're going to request for a $50,000 bond for Mr. Brisbane. He is 60 years old and has ties to Houston, as he's been living in Houston for the past 6 years. We are going to be opposed to a 24-hour house arrest condition as the state requested, as Mr. Brisbane has been working as an independent contractor with the company for the past year. He did receive his high school diploma and also has transportation back support with his own vehicle. And that's it, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Allen. All right, Mr. Brisbane scores a 2-2 and is a yes to the new violent criminal activity flag. He will have the following conditions of bond in his case. He's not to have any contact with the complainant's LJ's family or household members, including but not limited to Lori Young and Karika Harmon. He has to remain within Harris County and surrounding counties while this case is pending, unless Judge Jones decides otherwise. He cannot use, possess, or consume any alcohol or drugs. He cannot possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. And he will have an electronic monitor. He will get that monitor within 10 days. Bond in this case will be set at $1 million. I'm not approving a personal bond. The allegation here is that the complainant's mother was contacted. She was concerned that Mr. Brisbane allegedly displayed some erratic behavior. She contacted her other daughter and asked her to go over to the home. Also, police were called while the police were at the scene, and the sister of the complainant were there. Before they could enter the home, they heard 2 shots. Apparently, or allegedly, the complainant was shot in the head. It's also noted that her pants were supposedly down around her ankles. And also it's noted that police observed allegedly that Mr. Brisbane, he was pulling his pants up as he exited the home. So I have serious concerns for community safety and for the safety of this decedent's, or the complainant, family. So bail will be set at $1 million. The issue of bond reduction can be addressed in the trial court. All right, is there anything else from the state, Ms. Bradbury?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything else from the defense, Ms. Allen?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you so much for staying over. All right, that's going to conclude the 4 a.m. Class A and B misdemeanor and felony docket for
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and get into our 11 missing black men for our featured missing persons segment. First up, we have Devontae Morgan. He's been missing since May 5th, 2020, and he's missing from Mount Shasta, California. Devontae was visiting Mount Shasta with his girlfriend and has spent the night at a hotel. Per the girlfriend, they had a fight the night of May 4th, 2020, and had not spoken after that. He went for a walk in the morning and never returned. He was subsequently captured on multiple surveillance cameras as he walked around town that morning. Morgan had never been to Mount Shasta and had no known acquaintances in that area. He had no destination, no working cell phone, no vehicle with him. He has not used his debit cards or contacted anyone in his family since his disappearance. Number two, we have Daniel Robinson. He's been missing since June 23rd, 2021, and he's missing from Buckeye, Arizona. Daniel is a 24-year-old black man who was last seen on June 23rd, 2021 at approximately 9:15 a.m. Daniel was last seen leaving a job site in the area of Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road in Buckeye. Daniel's vehicle was later located approximately 4 miles southwest of the job site Robinson was last seen at. Daniel has not been seen or heard from since last seen leaving the job site. Along with this, I want to say that Daniel's father is still actively looking for him. There is a website that you can go to. Give me a second to pull that up. And he's originally from South Carolina, so that's where his family is. That website is pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. There's also a Facebook page, so go ahead and visit that website and see what's going on because he still holds searches and everything. And I think right now the issue is funding because looking for people and trying to figure out where they are, it takes a lot of resources. So let's go ahead and go to our number three. Ramondis Robinson, he's been missing since May 22nd, 2019, and he is missing from Birmingham, Alabama. Ramondis Jetrun Robinson was last seen around 11:30 p.m. on May 22nd, 2019 in Birmingham, Alabama. His friends say he was visiting the Money Spot Raw House Studios nightclub in the 600 block of 9th Street North when he disappeared. Today, Ramondis will be 33 years old, and he still hasn't been seen. They have not been able to contact him. I believe his car is missing as well. Let me go ahead because I did this story for someone and it's on my website. So let me just do a quick search. Okay, yeah. So it does say here that, okay, so he was last seen wearing a gray stone-washed jeans with cuts down the legs of the jeans, a gray shirt, a denim jacket, and some red and white Jordans. It does not say anything about his car. So maybe I was thinking about that for someone else. But let's go ahead and go to our number 4 person, Craig Lyles. Craig Lyles has been missing since January 21st, 2021, and he's missing from Waterford, Michigan. On January 21st, 2021, Craig was with his partner, Michael Butler Jr. That will be the last day anyone heard from or saw Craig Lyles. Around January 26th, the family was finally able to enter Craig's apartment. Inside was his cell phone and his glasses. Both were items he would never leave home without. They also learned that his partner Mike had been using Craig's car since January 21st, the last day that anyone else can confirm seeing or hearing from Craig. So obviously, they need to be looking at Michael Butler Jr. because why you in Craig's car? Number 5, Ira Bishop. Ira Bishop has been missing since May 17th, 2018, and he went missing from Chester, Pennsylvania. Ira was last seen at Horace Casino in Chester, Pennsylvania on May 17, 2018. A police K-9 team and the man's relatives scoured Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the rain on Sunday night after a Dodge Challenger belonging to Ira Bishop Payne was found burned in the park. However, they have not seen him. He have not contacted anyone. They don't know where he is. So if you have any information on Ira Bishop, go ahead and contact the police department. And you can contact the police department in Chester, Pennsylvania. But he was originally from Delaware. So I would say that you could actually reach out to Delaware PD as well, to their state police. Let's go on to our number 6. Dylan Rogers, missing since December 8th, 2021, and he is missing from Davenport, Florida. Dylan haven't been seen since December 8th, 2021, when he went to Haines City, Florida to spend time with his family for holidays. Dylan also has 2 tattoos on his triceps of an eye drawn in an image of Ra. He has been known to frequent downtown Orlando. Unfortunately, that was all the information that I can find for him, but I definitely still want to include him because he is a black man that's missing. And I hope he's found by his family. Let me go ahead and go to our number 7, I believe we're on. Jerome Lawrence, missing since October 7th, 2020. And he's missing from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. On Wednesday, October 7th, 2020, Jerome was dropped off at the intersection of 5th and Lehigh Avenue in Philadelphia to take the SEPTA bus to go to 5416 North 5th Street to meet a male in reference to a debt that was owed to him. He also brought his cousin, Sandra Oliver, to meet him in the area to confront this male who occupies that address. A text message was sent to Lawrence's girlfriend that indicates he did arrive at the location. Family members of both males have filed missing reports because they both haven't been seen since that day. So it seems like it could have met with foul play, trying to go get the debt that was owed to Jerome, and things were left. I'm not exactly sure, but that's all the information I have. I'm gonna go on to number 8. Devontae Robinson. This one is really interesting to me. It's wild. Devontae Robinson has been missing since July 22nd, 2020. July 22nd is actually my birthday. Missing from Washington, D.C. Devontae told family members on Monday, July 20th, that he was going to see his buddy, believed to be Kanye West, now known as Ye, whom, it should be noted, he never met. That was the last time any of them saw or heard from him. He was reported missing on Wednesday, July 22nd. 5 days later, on Monday, July 27th, Richardson's car, his Jeep Compass, was found nearly 2,000 miles away on a dirt road about 6 to 8 miles as the crow flies from Gray Bull. It's not uncommon to see betonet bentonite trucks using the road, but to passersby, a vehicle with Washington, D.C. plates appeared out of the ordinary. When it was still there 2 days later, on Wednesday, July 29th, it was reported to the Bighorn County Sheriff's Office coming in as an abandoned vehicle. Bighorn County Sheriff Ken Blackburn says one theory they considered is Richardson was trying to meet Ye, who owns a ranch in the county where the car was found. The sheriff's office says they interviewed Ye's securities team and don't believe Richardson made it there. Number 9, James Joyner. Missing since April 26, 2020, missing from Atlanta, Georgia. James left North Carolina and went on a weekend trip with a friend to Atlanta, Georgia in April 2020. He left with only a weekend bag and he said he'd be back. He never returned, but the friend he went with did. His phone was turned off and James had not been in contact with anyone since, including family and close friends, which is unlike him. The friend told his family that James took the car keys and left while he was sleeping and he never saw him again. I feel like that friend should be investigated because what? You not gonna leave me and we came together, wherever we go together, we're gonna be always together. It's not gonna be you go somewhere and I'll wait here because things happen. No, I don't want that kind of drama in my life. Number 10. Demisius Strong, missing since January 22nd, 2022, missing from Indianola, Mississippi. Demisius left home around 7:05 a.m. on the morning of January 22nd, 2022. It was seen approximately 2 miles behind his home by hunters allegedly with no clothes on. He was discovered to be missing from his home by family members around 9:30 to 10 that morning. A silver alert was issued for him and a search ensued. The search was called off on January 29th, 2022, without Demisius being found. He was last seen by his family wearing a yellow skull hat, orange hoodie, black jacket, blue jeans, and black Timberland boots. Now, that's all the information we have, but it seems to me that those hunters need to be questioned. Last but not least, number 11, Anthony Bell. Anthony Bell, missing since August 9th, 2021, missing from Carl's Corner, Texas. Anthony went missing on August 9th, 2021. His phone pinged to Hill County, Texas, where he attempted to make a call and where his vehicle was found abandoned. His phone continued to ping into McLennan County, then stopped. He has a very distinguished walk due to his muscular dystrophy. Dystrophy. I'm sorry, I may have straight butchered that word because that's the first time I actually seen that word. Well, the second time. And but yeah, that's all the information that I have for Anthony Bell. Unfortunately, what I've noticed with missing persons cases when it comes down to black men, there is so little information available. It's really sad. It's like no one pays attention to their loved ones. Start paying attention to what they have on. Start paying attention to where they're going. Ask questions. Um, let's start tracking each other. Find someone that you're comfortable with to track you. I got this little Samsung tag I got from Amazon. I think I paid like $30 for it. But that could literally be in your shoe or somewhere not seen, and someone could be tracking you. So if anything happens, someone knows your last location. But that's all we have for our missing men. If you have any other missing black men information that I didn't miss, that I didn't talk about, go ahead and send it to me and I'll do a episode on them and feature them. Um Unfortunately, I was searching and searching and searching. I stayed up for like 3 nights straight looking for a whole bunch of black men that's missing and with the information. But unfortunately, there were so many I had to skip up because there was literally no information available. Like no one knew anything, which is ridiculous. But hey, but thank you for listening to the podcast today. And I'll see you next time. Well, not see you. I'll talk to y'all next time.
Thanks for listening to the Murder Files with me, Buffy Gunner. If you like what you just heard, I hope you'll pass along my website address, illicitdeeds.com, to your family and friends. And please leave us a positive review wherever you're listening. Be sure to share this episode to your timeline and check me out on social media at Illicit Deeds. This has been an Illicit Deeds production. Join me next time for another episode of The Murder Files.